Hello everybody, my name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a video discussing DeMar DeRozan's comments after this Chicago Bulls game. If you didn't end up seeing it, DeMar DeRozan got 2 technical fouls in this game against the Toronto Raptors, had a whopping -31 in the plus-minus stat, got ejected from the game, and was downright just brutal to watch in its entirety. However, DeMar DeRozan has some things to say right after this game, and at the end of the day, you can say he's delusional. You can say whatever you like about him and I guess his comments after this. I want to get into the positives and the negatives of I guess DeMar DeRozan and the quotes that he said, because I do believe there's some positives in what he said. I know it's hard to find positives in this Bulls team at the end of the day. It really is. It seems like everything we look at, we turn to the left, there's negativity. We turn to the right, there's negativity. There's in this camera right now a lot of negativity. There is so much negativity to go around that it's hard to find some positives, but I'm going to try my best. So before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, DeMar DeRozan, and of course, the things going on around what he had to say. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. This is a tweet from Casey Johnson. Shout out to him. And this is the quote from DeMar DeRozan. "I can't fake it. I'm beyond frustrated. Everybody in this locker room is frustrated. It's from a good place of being a competitor and wanting to figure it out that badly. Put a couple of wins together. I truly believe that can shift everything for us." Such a little quote, but has such a big impact, I would say. Now, again, we're trying to find the positives in things, right? That's what we're trying to do right now. What's the positive in this tweet or in this response to DeMar DeRozan? It actually does feel like a lot of negatives. DeMar DeRozan is frustrated. Everybody is frustrated. Everybody wants to figure it out, but they just can't seem to find a way. But he believes that a couple of wins, he believes this team can truly shift and everything will change for the Chicago Bulls. The one thing I'm going to talk about DeMar DeRozan, the positive I'm going to take away from what he said is his mentality. Again, as much as Bulls fans may not see it, I'm never going to critique a player for having belief in a team or belief in himself. It just doesn't make any sense. Look at where they are. They've made it to the top echelon of the NBA. DeMar DeRozan is a highly respected, highly valued player around the NBA. People respect his game. People like the way that he plays, even though some people don't as well. And he's made it. He's made it where he wanted to go at the end of the day. So I'm not going to sit here and criticize someone's mentality and criticize someone's desire to change things and turn things around for a team. So I will never ever critique DeMar DeRozan for that. And that is the positive I'm taking away from that. Even though, as Bulls fans, when we watch the games, we can't see how this can get any better. We can't see how everything changes for us. These guys have a different mentality than the vast majority of people around the world. They are in the hardest competition in the professional world in basketball. It's a very difficult competition to be in. It's grueling. It's demanding. But these guys have made it to the top for a reason. But most of them is because of their mentality. And to get into the Hall of Fame career that DeMar DeRozan has had, and will most likely be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done, that's because of his mentality. So I'm not going to question that. I don't see how the Chicago Bulls can turn things around. I really don't. But I'm not going to question DeMar DeRozan's mentality in wanting to turn things around and in him believing it can happen. So that's the first thing I'll take away. That is the positive I will take away. But as I kind of said, I remember when we were talking about Andre Drummond and how he believes he's a Hall of Famer. He may believe he's a Hall of Famer. By all means, believe if you believe you can be a Hall of Famer, believe it. That's what I want you to do. I want you to believe in yourself. I want everybody here to believe in themselves. But just because you believe that you're a Hall of Famer, or just because DeMar DeRozan believes he can help turn this team around, doesn't necessarily mean that I have to agree with his opinion or his mindset or his, I guess, motivations. I won't criticize it, but I don't have to agree with it either. Because the way that I see it, I can't see a way the Chicago Bulls truly turn this around. I really don't. I just feel like there's too many issues wrong with this team. First and foremost, the fact that he said in a quote that they're trying to figure out so badly. They're trying to figure it out so badly, but they can't. They can't figure it out. So that, to me, again, it suggests there's more than just a player problem here. When the players themselves can't figure out what's wrong, maybe, again, there's a pride issue there for the Chicago Bulls. I really believe there's a pride issue there. again, I think when you're saying the Bulls need to come out and play with more pride, I do really feel like it's the opposite. I think the Bulls are playing with too much pride, and that's why they can't figure out the issues, because if they were humble enough to really listen to what people are saying about this Bulls team, even the coaching stuff, whatever the case may be, they would be willing to try things differently, and maybe some of those kinks that we have could get rectified. But because of the pride that gets in the way, because of the money that they might be earning, or because of the status that they're in, again, this Bulls team's kind of blinded with the exact same game. The Bulls barely crack 100 points every single game. That is something that at the end of the day is just not going to cut it for any team in the NBA. DeMar DeRozan said putting a couple of wins together could truly change things. That, in my opinion, is the biggest problem with the Chicago Bulls right there. You can't put consistent wins together because you're putting on mediocre performances more consistently than you're putting on good performances. It's really as simple as that. You put mediocre performances on the table, you can't get consistent wins. You can't build together on consistent wins. We had a win not too long ago against Miami. What did we do? We put another mediocre performance to the table and we got smacked in the next game by Miami. That has been our season. So what DeMar DeRozan is hoping for has actually been our biggest flaw. It's the fact that we can't put consistent wins together. We're putting up barely cracking 100-point games, mediocre performance after mediocre performance, offensively struggling, plus minus is all over the place, and there's just no real positive outside of a couple of guys on this team to really talk about. So these are the couple of things why I feel like, at the end of the day, as much as I admire DeMar DeRozan for believing in himself and believing in this team, by the way, pride and belief are two different things. Let me get that out of the way as well. Pride is not seeing the issues there. Believing is something where you can see the issues, but you believe you can change them. Those are two different things. But at the end of the day, I admire his belief, but I feel like there's a lot of issues with the Chicago Bulls team that proves that what he wants to happen, I can't see happening, and I don't see happening with the Chicago Bulls team anytime soon. The coaching issues, I feel like, is the very first thing that needs to go. I really feel Billy Donovan has to go if you want any chance of retooling. And then I feel like, obviously, if you want to retool as well, you need to trade Zach LaVine for valuable pieces in return. And how many teams are going to offer massively valuable pieces to the Chicago Bulls for Zach LaVine? You're most likely going to get draft compensation. You're most likely going to get young talent. You may not get a valuable asset in return. So that might not necessarily change the way that the team plays. The identity of the team may stay the same, but I don't know. It's hard to say. But if DeMar DeRozan believes, by all means, go ahead and believe. Don't use my criticism as a reason not to believe. You do you. Again, you're probably never going to see this video, DeMar DeRozan, anyway, so there's no point in really saying something like that. But I admire the belief that you have. I respect the belief that you have. And look, if it turns out to be right, then fair play to you, DeMar DeRozan, for believing in the team, believing in yourself, and turning it around. That's all I'm going to say. If it really does happen, fair play to you. But I just don't see a way around it for the Chicago Bulls. I really, really don't. But the NBA athletes are there. You have a team there. A team that sucks at the moment. A team that's not been good for a long, long time. A team that I truly believe needs to be rebuilt from the ground up. I know that's something else DeMar DeRozan disagrees on, because he said how long it's a take and how viable is that option. At this point, there's nowhere else to turn, in my opinion. That's how I see it. Yeah, it might not be the most viable option because the Bulls don't draft well, but what else are we supposed to do with this team? It's clear this team right now, with the coaching and the players involved and the way that we play, is not going to cut it. And unless you're going to do some massively miraculous work this season's just not it for the Chicago Bulls. I think we're already down and out. And I feel like the rebuild has to happen, even if it may not be the most viable option we'll ever see. In my eyes, it's better than keeping it the same. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, hopefully I made this video as much sense as possible. I'm trying my best here. I don't want to just say DeMar DeRozan's wash, trade DeMar DeRozan. I know a lot of people like to say that. Trade DeMar DeRozan, trade Zach LaVine, trade Kobe White. At the end of the day, we're going to be waiting for weeks, potentially months on end, before we see any real change happen for the Chicago Bulls. So I'm not going to sit here and trash talk every single player under the sun until that day comes. I want to respect when people have belief in themselves. I want to respect when people feel they can turn it around. That's their right. They have their opinion, they share it to the world, and it's up to you if you want to respect it or not. I'm going to respect their opinion and their belief, but again, I don't have to agree with it. So I tried my best to be as respectful as possible. Hopefully it was viewed in that way, and I'm going to end this video here. Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.